this as a backdrop for one of my favorite stories in the Bible, the story of Samson. I've studied the story of Samson a lot more than probably, I'm going to say 99.9% of all people that have ever lived. Me being I do a little amateur strongman stuff. If you've seen my website, timbosplace.com, or any of my YouTube channels, where every once in a while I'll do some little tricks with strength and showing what you can do with your body. The story of Samson is much derided by people that don't know what they're talking about. Our view of the Samson is colored a lot by the Victor Mature movie, which I happen to like, Samson and Delilah. However, there was a bunch of things that the people that made it took for granted and embellished upon because it was Hollywood. So, the first thing I want to cover is the actual lion in the Samson movie. Okay, in the Victor Mature movie, he's killing an African lion with his bare hands. This is the most wildly named animal that you can think of. They're normally called cougars, mountain lions, pumas. They're all the same animal. They're a mountain lion. This is the animal that Samson killed. It wasn't an African lion. They had mountain lions in the hills of Judea at the time. They're all gone now because of, a couple of wars, destruction by people and everything else. But at the time there was mountain lions there. African lions were about 2,000 miles away. So you're looking at a totally different animal. This animal goes 170 pounds, pretty much maxed out. Most of them are about 130. The African lion is at least twice as big, in some cases 3 times as big. So it wouldn't be out of the purview of a strong man to kill a mountain lion. There is a way to kill an African lion. It's been done by people by hand. I know the way to do it. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's about a 1 in 100 chance of doing it, though. So it's a slim chance. Anyway, back to the story. So let's cover where Samson lived. Samson lived in the highlands. He didn't live down in the valley where most of his strength feats actually happen. So he's living up at, 4,000 feet higher than everybody else. And he goes down in the valley, and he goes down and he gets in trouble going into the city, which a lot of country guys do. And the thing is, he gets about a 10% strength boost because he's got more blood in him, because he's lived in high altitudes. His body's adapted to less oxygen by producing more blood cells. Now, he never stays in the valley. He always goes back up into the hills, so he never really loses that effect. So when you have 10% more endurance, it makes a big difference when anything else you do. Let's also talk about Samson's diet. Samson lived in the land of milk and honey. He didn't really eat very much meat. Probably ate the Passover lamb. Occasionally he would get probably smoked fish that came up from either the Sea of Galilee or the Mediterranean. Maybe had an occasional egg, but he never ate beef. He never ate a lot of lambs. Lambs were used for their wool, to make cheese. They were only slaughtered on festivals, basically. Same thing with with all the other farm animals. They were very. He ate mainly, probably 90% of his diet was vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for a long time now, and my strength's actually gone up, and I'm in my middle 50s. So let's look over some of Samson's other strength feats. There was an obscure author who's still around, and actually you can see him on YouTube lifting a pair of 100-pound dumbbells, and he's about 70 years old. His name's Mike Brown. He wrote The Secrets of Samson's Strength and How to Attain It. Highly recommend the book. You're going to have to buy it on Amazon. It never was printed in high numbers, but he goes over what I'm covering here. Going through Samson's feats of strength. At the time, you got to remember there was very little hard metal. Iron weapons were the exception at the time. Samson. There were a few iron weapons, but basically everybody in Judea would have had copper and brass weapons. When he goes into the when he's holding the pass on top of the little rise there to kill all the Philistines with the jawbone of an ass. The jawbone of an ass is a really formidable calcium constructed weapon, which would probably be superior to having that compared to a lot of it was a formidable weapon compared to the other weapons he was facing. And the fact that he had the high ground, and he was probably 4 or 5 times stronger than the guys coming against him, it made all the difference. And with his expanded endurance, you know, think of the Spartans in the 300 holding the pass, and you've got the same story here. Him using the jawbone of an ass. It would be about a 4-pound calcium sledgehammer, basically, formed with cross vertices in the jawbone. You know, there's hollow spaces, and they're cross-hatched the way the bone is made. So, going over his other, you know, he never drank the fruit of the vine. It goes over the dietary laws of the Nazarite vow, which he always kept. And you know, they make a whole lot of stuff about the hair of Samson. After you took a Nazarite vow, after the vow was done, you would cut your hair and burn it as a burnt offering unto the Lord. Now, when Samson gets bound after Delilah turns on him, it's because he's been defiling himself through debauchery and eating strange food, and he weakened himself. And then they put his eyes out and put him on a stone to grind flour, basically, and they made sport of him. Well, now they've taken him away. He's not getting drunk every day. He's not eating a lot of meat. He's basically eating what's left over grain on the ground and just drinking water. Well, his strength comes back. Yes, his hair did start to grow again, and maybe he did rededicate his life. Well, you know that he does, because he says, you know, right at the end, let me be avenged for the loss of my life. And he takes more down in his dying than he did during his life. Well, you know, he basically just stopped partying, and he was just doing physical work, just pushing a gristmill around, which is basically a sled. So all you people that work out at the gym, think about somebody that's basically working out on a sled day after day, hour after hour. He's going to get real strong real fast, especially if he's eating clean food and not doing anything to screw his body up. So, and at the end, he's put between the 2 forbidden stones of the temple, where he bows with all his might and pushes it over. Well, those were, although the stones may have been dressed, they were just stacked on themselves. They kind of looked like this pillar, and then they would have the wooden cross beam supporting it. So, you know, you've seen the guys do this at the gym. They'll get a leg press machine and load it up with 1,200 pounds and only move it 2 inches. Well, he only had to move it about 3 inches each way. for the bowing to occur. So the last feat was probably the easiest. Anyway, check out more on timbosplace.com and check out that book by Mike Brown. Thank you.